It's 9 years ago. I just got a new job in a city I'd never lived in before, and I needed a place to stay. Naturally, I turned to Facebook, and I found this place listed for just $200 a month. Even back then, that was ridiculously cheap. So, of course, I took it. Little did I know I was about to move into a haunted mansion. Buckle up, because this story gets crazy. So, I arrive at this mansion, and it is massive. Like 12 bedrooms is kind of massive. Normally, frat boys lived there during the school year, but for the summer, it was just me and one other person named Kem. Now, Kem and I did not get off on the right foot. I'll save that story for another time. We barely communicated, which will become important later. Kem goes out of town for a week, leaving me all alone in this huge, historic mansion. I won't lie, I was pretty scared. But I decided to turn this into an exercise in self-confidence. I strutted around like I owned the place. If something seemed scary, I dealt with it. For instance, there was this dark hallway with 5 doors in a row, always cracked open. Creepy, right? I shut them all tight. And to avoid coming home to a dark house, I left strategic lights on. So, I go about my week, feeling all brave and confident. But then, weird things started happening. Those heavy doors I closed, some of them were cracked open again. I rationalized it, thinking, it's an old house, the doors must have just popped open. And some nights, the lights I swear I left on were off when I got home. The weirdest part? My string cheese stash was dwindling. I chalked it up to my own absent-mindedness. By the weekend, I was completely drunk on this fearless power. I decided to go out to the bars. Before leaving, I set myself up, turned on all the lights, shut all the doors, grabbed a string cheese, and headed out. When I came back, I was a bit tipsy, and guess what? The lights were off. I froze. I couldn't ignore the weirdness anymore. But like a true horror movie character making all the wrong decisions, I went inside. I turned on all the lights, grabbed another string cheese, and feeling bold, decided to take a shower. Singing in the shower, feeling invincible, I went to my room to read a book. Then I heard it. A door shutting downstairs. Then another. I pushed my dresser against my door, followed by my bed. I heard footsteps, getting louder, closer. I crawled under my bed and peeked through a crack. I saw 2 human feet outside my door. I was terrified, but somehow I went to sleep. Yep, I know, crazy. The next morning, I convinced myself I'd imagined it all. I moved my bed and dresser back, put on my bikini, and marched out to enjoy the sun. But halfway down the stairs, I froze. There was a man at the bottom just staring up at me, disheveled, terrified. We both lost it. It turns out Kem had neglected to tell me his cousin was coming to stay. Kem's cousin, unaware I lived there, had been equally freaked out by me.
Who are you?
He was opening the doors I shut, turning off the lights I left on, and, yes, eating my string cheese. We'd been scaring each other all week, each thinking the house was haunted. So, that's the story of how I spent a week in a haunted mansion, only to find out the ghost was Kem's cousin. The moral of the story is to communicate with your roommates, especially if you live in a creepy old mansion. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more crazy stories.